Welcome to the channel. This week on the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, I do 10 rounds with a tractor seed plant to try and get it out of the ground. We look at seed sowing 101 for those who've never done seed sowing before or for new gardeners. And I spent some time down the side alley giving that area some love. It's been much neglected over the last 6 to 8 weeks. Come potter with me in the garden. My name is Dawn and I am the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Good afternoon. It's Tuesday and the weather hasn't been that great this week. Well, Monday and Tuesday. Weekend I was really busy, so I didn't do much gardening except for a bit of watering. Yesterday and this morning we've had really low cloud. It's just been cold and not windy or anything, just cold and damp feeling. So the sun has literally just broken through around about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So as soon as I got done what I needed to get done, I'm out here. So it's just between it's about 1:30. So yeah, really pleased to be outside. As I indicated last week, with having done the 50th vlog and heading towards the year anniversary, I was wanting to change things a wee bit, not remove things, but just add some features. So one of those was Teddy the seed snail. So just looking at things that, new trends and things like that, new innovations that are around in gardening and trying them out for myself if they're applicable to my garden. Another thing I want to do, and it was always part of the idea when I first started the channel, was to do some stuff for new gardeners or people who have been gardening for a while but just want to expand their knowledge. So I'm going to start that this week, and I've already put it up on my Facebook page, the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Did that Monday evening, and that was around seeds, and for people who have never sown seeds before, just a sort of a seed 101. So as I've got a dreadful memory and I can't remember things at times, I printed it off so that I could use it as a reference while we talk. So as with all veggie gardening, whether you buy seedlings or seeds, it's really important that you grow what you want or what you like, not what is a novelty. I mean, you can get and do that later on, but when you first start, you want stuff that's actually going to give you back some positive feedback. You know, you're growing it and it works. So choose things that you want to grow and like to eat, and see if some of it can be pick and come again stuff, because that sort of stuff just keeps rewarding and rewarding you over time. I mean, carrots are fine and they're awesome, and I do suggest that, you know, most people like carrots and well worth planting, but once you've picked them, unless you're doing succession sowing, that's it. The other thing is to keep it simple. The first season you're sowing your own seeds, so like as I said, pick and come again, things like lettuce, cos lettuces, spinach, silver beet, kale if you like it, and definitely carrots, but I would suggest stay away from the fussier seeds like parsnips. I mean, those things are even frustrating for an experienced gardener. Also, just keep your selection of seeds that you're going to do down to about 6. Don't get carried away with buying a huge number of packets. I saw a YouTube vlog about homesteading and what have you for someone who had never gardened in their life, and I swear they must have had about 50 packets of seeds and they had no idea how to sow them or what have you, and they were just going for it, which, you know, that's fine if that's what you want to do, but it can generate a lot of disappointment by doing that. Just remember, if you're going to do 6 lots of seeds, that's fine, but you can also top up with seedlings if you want extras. So, you know, you can go down to the garden shop and grab some seedlings. But if you just focus on, if you're doing seeds for your start, on 6 to just get you going, that's a really good way to go. So where do you buy seeds? Well, you can go to the store and get the standard brands like Yates, McGregor's, and who was the other one? Oh, Mr. Fothergill's. So yeah, they're all standard New Zealand ones that you can get. You can even get some of them at the supermarket. The others is online. Now, just stick to the main online places here in New Zealand. So just be aware that there are some online sites that are not as good as others. But you're okay with things like King's New Zealand. Just put NZ after that because there is another King's in England. And also Egmont and the Seed Warehouse New Zealand. They're all good sites. Don't be tempted to buy your seeds from overseas through Amazon or Temu or anything. They just won't get into the country. Our agricultural laws will just stop them at the border. It's a waste of time and money. Also, you'll note that some seed packets are cheaper than others. Just be aware that's because there's less seed in the packet. There's nothing wrong with that because, you don't need 750 carrot seeds if you're just doing your first year. If you buy a packet that's less expensive that's got 200 carrot seeds in, that's fine. Remember, you're a home gardener, you're not a commercial grower. So traps for new seed growers. We've already talked about the one of not buying a million packets of different seeds because they will only last so long. Some seeds last longer than others. So, carrot seeds will last, I think, about 4 or 5 years. But parsnip seeds, for example, even though I have said to you, don't bother about them for the first year till you get your feet under the table. But just as an example, parsnip seeds are basically done in a year. You need to buy new seeds every year. Don't stress over buying organic ones that will have, organic this on the label of the packet. You'll find that A, they're a lot more expensive, and B, it's just because they've come from an organic certified grower. If you want to go down that route, you're fine, but you're growing them in your own garden. You may or may not use sprays yourself. It's completely up to you. But, just be aware that other than the organic certification, there's no difference in those seeds. Seed tapes are more expensive, but if that's the way you want to go, there's nothing wrong with it, and you can do them yourself. And I can always do a video on that if you like. Just let me know in the comments below. Now, a question I see quite often is heirloom versus F1. So what is an heirloom seed? An heirloom seed is usually an older seed, hence the name, and they're open pollinated seeds. But in theory, you can collect seeds and they will grow as per the parent plant, with the exception of things like I've talked about in the past that, for a better word, are promiscuous. So things like the cucurbits, so that's zucchinis, pumpkins and what have you. Other things, when they cross-pollinate, you'll end up with a non-true plant. So it happened to me many years ago. I grew scalopini and I grew zucchini together. I collected the seed. I can't remember which of those I collected the seeds from, but when I planted the seed the next year, I ended up with a green blob that was horrible, and that's because they cross-pollinated. Now, they were heirloom, but because they cross-pollinated, they didn't breed true to their parent. Now, what's F1? Well, F1 is a seed that has been crossbred between two different plants. So, say tomatoes, two different types of cherry tomatoes for some. Now, Sungold is a F1 seed. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not genetically modified or anything. It's just been bred to get the best traits that you want. So for that one, it's a sweet golden tomato. You can collect the seeds from them, but they probably won't breed true to the parent. And as time goes on, the seed will become less reliable and viable. So that's the thing about an F1. I mean, for some F1 seeds, they actually are good. So we don't have it so much here, but there's a thing called clubroot which affects brassicas. And instead of getting that nice feathery root system that you get that feeds the plant, you literally get a manky looking club for the root. So the plant is very low in vigour. Now, they have developed, especially in places like the UK, which has quite a lot of clubroot in the soil, they have developed seeds that are F1s that are more resistant to that. Hence, you can plant them in soil that is infected with clubroot. It just helps with those sorts of things. So the takeaway from all that is growing plants from seeds fun. It doesn't need to be complicated, and you can end up really enjoying it, seeing grow from, you popping the seed in, it germinating, it growing, and going through the full cycle to your harvest. These tips are just to try and help you make your seed sowing and growing more successful, because it can be really disappointing when you plant seeds and you get nothing from them. You've put a lot of effort into it from your point of view, and you sort of think, well, why did I bother? I could just go out and buy seedlings. But growing from seed, as I said, can be fun. So here's a few simple tips to just do it for yourself. Right, enough of me chatting on. It's about doing. I'm not sure how much doing I'm going to get outside, because as I said, it's quite cool, but I'm in the greenhouse and I'm just looking at what I've got here. My 3 pots of carrots are doing well. And what else have I got here? I have got 3 pots of spinach that I planted from seed, and 1 back there that I popped a couple of seedlings in. My spring onions that I planted from seed have done nothing. The spring onions I planted from seedlings that I've done in cells, they're doing okay. I do need to tidy up the peppers, not the peppers, the chilies, so that I can start using that space. And I've got a few more pots here that I'm thinking of planting up today. So how is Teddy doing? Well, Teddy the broccoli seed snail, he's doing fine. Yep. Way too early yet to expect anything. I mean, I did this, at the end of last week. So I did put the date on it. What day to do it? 30th, and today is the 5th. So yeah, still too early. And I did another one after, and that's the bigger one there. And that is spring onion. And I thought, I'm having trouble getting my spring onions to germinate in direct sowing and or into the 6 cells. So I thought I'd try a seed snail and see if I had any better luck that way. So watch this space. We'll check them out again. I'll try and remember to check them out again for you by the end of the week and see if we've got anything. We may get a bit of broccoli germination by that stage, because they do germinate reasonably quickly. The onions are a bit slower anyway, normally. So yeah. So let me have a look to see what else I need to do. One of the other things I forgot to talk about was my broccoli that I've got in the greenhouse. So while I've got Teddy going, I did plant 3 seedlings that I had left over from planting the main garden. And so I potted them up just in leftover pots that you get, plants in from the nursery. And they're doing okay. I'm battling the old aphid a bit. This one's not so bad. The other one I've just looked at had more, but he does have some. So yeah, it's a nuisance that the old aphid. The rest of the plants don't seem to have them, like the carrots and things. It's just the broccoli. So yeah, I'm going to plant up the rest. If Teddy gives me some broccoli seedlings, I'm going to plant up the rest of these. And I'm just doing 1 broccoli per pot. And yeah, pretty pleased with. Oops, I just broke his leaf. Oh well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. And actually, I could probably snip off these lower leaves. I've been doing that outside with the broccoli when I took the cover off the other day. So yeah. Right, keep going. Well, it's about 3:30. I can't say that I've accomplished a lot in the greenhouse today, but it's just been really nice being out in the garden. You know, after a few days of being stuck inside or being busy and not able to get out on nice days, when you do eventually get out, you do really appreciate it. So yeah, it's been nice to be out. I did end up doing, removing all the chilies so that all 3 plants are chopped up and gone now. And I gave the veggies that I've got in here some sheep pellets and a good drink. So yeah, not a lot of chi for time out here, but I ended up just like sitting here and enjoying the the light and being outside and what have you. Louis came by, but he's never really keen about coming into the greenhouse. I think he thinks it's inside for him, and he's not an inside cat as far as by choice. I mean, he'll flit in and he'll flit out, check out what we're doing, but he'll come in at night begrudgingly, but he's not a cat that lays around much. So I'm going to leave it at that today. I've got a couple of things planned for this week still in my head. Whether they happen, it will be weather dependent. Tomorrow's looking good, so I'm hoping to get out and get a reasonable amount done. So I'll just have to see how things go. I've got a tractor seat plant that I need to remove, but it's around the front, and unless I do it sort of in the morning, it's just going to be cold and horrible around there because it doesn't get a lot of sun. And then I've got bits and pieces to do out the back still. So yeah, we can see what happens. And eventually, on a really nice warm day with no wind, I've got the side alley that needs a good makeover. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It is stunning out here. It's not quite 11 o'clock and it's been about 19 degrees. I should have got out earlier, but had a few things I needed to get done. And I've come out today to do something that I'm not looking forward to, but I've got my coffee, so that's the important thing. This thing behind me, my tractor seat plant, it's going to have to come out today. When I planted it, it was tiny. I had originally been gifted it for a garden that I was going to do the back alley, not the side alley, the back alley, leading from the front garden through to where the compost bins are. I was going to do this shade garden there, and I did start. I just never kept up with it. It always got forgotten and everything dried out, even though it was predominantly in the shade. It did get the late afternoon sun in the summer. So I ended up moving some of the plants that had survived down to this area here behind me, which is leading from the arbour through to that back alley, heading towards the back garden. And I popped it in, and it was 2-3 leaves looking very sad. Well, you can see it's not looking sad anymore, and it's taking over that border. So I have decided that it's too big. Should have read more about it when I put it in, because apparently they can grow up to 1 metre tall and wide. So it's just way too big for that space. So I'm going to try and get out in 1 or maybe 2 pieces, because I do have a gardening buddy that it's going to go to, and she'll pop it somewhere that hopefully it will continue to thrive. Now, why am I not looking forward to it? Well, in the past X number of weeks, I've dug out a few things, and I've had to take the axe to a few. I don't want to take the axe to this. I have asked in the gardening groups, how easy are they to remove? A lot of people said, yeah, fine, they're fairly shallow rooted, which is good. So fingers crossed, yeah. But I'm not looking forward to a fight with it. So I might as well get on with it, because I can't keep putting it off. I just got to do it. And then we'll go from there. I'll set up and we'll do a bit of speedy and that way you can't hear me muttering under my breath and cursing as I do it. So see you on the other side. It's done. Took me about an hour, but yeah. One point I thought I was going to be defeated when I first started because I just couldn't find a way into the plant. It had divided itself into sort of sections, lobes. So it was about trying to get into one, and once that was done, it got easier and easier as I moved through the plant, so that was good. And it was relatively shallow rooted. It was just a matter of getting in and under it. It was in quite a tight confined space there too. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. So I'm going to maybe do a wee bit of trimming here for the next 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to head in, grab some lunch, and then depending on what the wind is doing, we'll decide where I go this afternoon. But I'll probably get in as much gardening as I can today because the next couple of days are meant to be a bit the easterly's meant to be rough, and they're forecasting possible showers, but even with the possible showers, it's that wind, so it will sort of mean I won't be able to do the front garden or the side alley. I could probably get out the back and maybe into the greenhouse, so we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, I'll catch you the other side of lunch. Right, lunch over. It's about 1:30ish. I had a few things I had to do, so I'm back out, and the weather is good enough for me to be down the side alley, so no howling easterly, so that's great. And the poor old side alley has really been neglected in the last 6 weeks or so. So I'm down here going to try and give it a tidy up and basically put it to bed for winter, really. The asparagus are ready to be trimmed back, so I'm going to tidy them up. The yams have basically died back, and I'm not hopeful that I'm going to get a lot out of them. And while my kumara plant is still going, I'm probably going to harvest it anyway because I'm not expecting a huge amount out of them because I only had those 3 cuttings that survived. So yeah, next year I'll try again and I'll do it from a half kumara rather than trying to keep the cuttings I took this time last year alive over winter. It just didn't work. I mean, I got quite a few cuttings to make it through to the time I planted them in pots, but then I basically overwatered them and they died off. So yeah, I just not going to do that this year. So this year I don't actually have to do a lot to the asparagus because I put in all these stakes in and tied them up last year. So they're basically done. What I just need to do is cut off the dead ferns and then top them up with some compost, and I've got some bags of sheep poop, real sheep poop, not pellets. So I'm going to do that. So we're just going to do a bit of speedy with a bit of music while I'm trundling along doing that. That job's done. It took me a bit longer than I thought, but not because the actual job took me long, the chopping down or putting in the dirt and things. It was actually chopping up all the stalky bits to go into the green bin. So yeah, sorry, the sun's just poking around the cloud and straight into my eyes. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. See how they come off. I was just trying to work out, I think they're around their 5th year. So they've got a couple more good years out of them, and then I'll probably need to start off a few more and get them established, because remember, they take 3 years. So they're not hard to look after once they're established. Once you've got them in and the crown's established, it's just about, for the first couple of years, not harvesting anything and just letting the prongs come up and turn into ferns, and then those ferns will then feed the crown. And then after you do start harvesting, you can harvest for about 6 to 8 weeks, and then you need to let them grow and come up to those ferny things, and that then will refeed the crown for this coming season. They are a hungry plant, so definitely during their growing time they need a good feed, and it's recommended that when you cut down the ferns late autumn or early winter, once they've browned off, that you give them a top off of compost and feed then too. Now, I was told that they probably wouldn't do well in these raised beds, the Bunnings ones that I've got. You can get them from Mitre 10 in the warehouse now too, because asparagus crowns like to root deep, but they seem to be doing okay in here, so I'm not too concerned. I'm quite actually happy the way they're going. I have noticed that mine start quite early, coming up with the asparagus spears, quite early spring, or even just touching the late part of winter, and I think it's where I've got them. While this alley, side alley, is very windy, it does catch a good part of the sun all day, especially in winter, because come winter, the sun sort of sets just behind us really. It comes up sort of about there and then just goes the narc. So over winter, as long as there's sun out, it gets sun most of the day. So it's getting on, it's just on 3 now. I'm going to check out and see what the yams have done. It's not watching me do that. I'll show you what I've got, if anything. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be disappointed because I left my yams too long, my seed yams too long, and what growth I've had foliage-wise has not been stunning at all. Yes, you're meant to wait till the frosts have killed off the foliage, but my foliage has died anyway, so it's not worth waiting any longer. I'll just dig them up and see what I've got. The last 2 years, despite trying to get ahead of the grass grub have probably got about half of my yams, eaten bits of them, which is, kind of sad, but it's, it is what it is, unless you spray your lawn for grass scrub, and I don't want to spray any more than I have to. So, yeah. And, while we'll spray for grass scrub, the thing is that they fly. And it's the larva in the soil from the grub that's the thing that's eating the yams. So anyway, I'll catch you on the other side of that and we'll have a look and see what they're like. Okay, so that was interesting. The yams were basically what I thought. Yeah, not much of anything. No grass grub though, but no yams either really, just a few. So, however, I was pleasantly surprised when I decided I might as well just dig up the kumara, even though the vines hadn't died back yet, but so might as well because I'm tidying this whole area up. I only put in the 3 slips because that's all I had left that hadn't roots hadn't rotted out because I'd overwatered them. But yeah, I got a few. They're not huge because I didn't leave them long enough, though there wasn't a lot of immature, like little ones, like skinny ones. There was probably only another half dozen of the tiny wee ones. But I've got a feed. So yeah, now, I did sort of, oops, there we go, I'm throwing them on the ground already. I did change my strategy with them because last year, when I dug them up, I dug a few up and they were okay. And then I thought, oh no, I'll leave them. And I left them too long and they rotted in the ground. When I dug them up, they were half rotten. And then after having the experience of the roots rotting out because I overwatered them in the pots, I decided that I needed, and I did more research too, I needed to be less onto the watering. I sort of was reading like that, kumara don't like wet feet, they like to have damp it the most. So I had changed my strategy around watering them as well. So I think that has actually paid off, which is good. Now, while it's reasonably pleasant out here still, the sun's gone behind a cloud, and there's no real wind. Coming up 3:30, 3:45, so I'm going to head in, pack up and head in, and leave it for today. Not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. Friday's out, I've got things on, but yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Thursday. We'll see. The weather's a bit on the forecast, so yeah, might be it for the week. We'll see. I'll either catch up with you tomorrow or we'll catch up for a coffee and chat. We'll see how it goes. Well, it's that time of week for a coffee and a chat. So I'm with tea again this week. Now, before we get going on the roundup for the week, I thought we'd just check in on Teddy. So, a bit hard to pull him out, but that's Teddy broccoli just there, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12 seeds up, so that's really good. Teddy spring onion, nothing yet, but early days yet for that, so not too worried. So really pleased how that's going, and probably over the next week or so I'm going to prepare some strips so that when I do want to do it, I've got all my strips ready and done, so it's a good inside wet day thing to be doing. So the first part of the vlog was me chatting on about seeds. So seed 101, the things to look out for if you're buying seeds or you want to do seeds and things like that. In the upcoming weeks, I'll look at some other stuff around seed sowing and things, but I'm also going to talk about things to do out in the garden. So like if you're a very first time gardener, what sort of things are easy to do, how to start without making it such a mountain for you. Then we got on to doing some stuff after I had finished tidying up the greenhouse the next day. We went out and we tackled the tractor seat plant, which I'd been putting off, but knew I had to do. And it actually did come out way easier than I thought, so I was really pleased about that, and it has gone to a new home. Wednesday was too good a day to waste about going back inside, so in the afternoon I headed down the side alley because it's perfect weather, tidied up all the asparagus beds, dug out my very few pathetic amount of yams, and also dug up the kumara and got a really good crop of that considering what I had started with. I'm definitely going to look into not doing yams next season and just doing 5 beds of kumara. So yeah, that's my plan at the moment. Now, just on a side note, hubby asked me a question this morning and I had to actually go and Google it because I thought, oh hell. He was asking me about cats being allergic, damaged, toxic to asparagus. Not just eating it, but actually just touching it. And I thought, oh hell, I've tried to keep plants out of my garden that the cats would be allergic to. So I did look it up, and it's not the asparagus that you eat that's toxic to them, even just a touch. It's the ornamental asparagus, which is quite different in chemical makeup, to what the asparagus is that we eat. If your cat does nibble the asparagus that we eat, that's fine. They just shouldn't really eat too much of it because it will just give them a wee bit of a tummy ache. But apparently if it's this ornamental stuff, it's actually toxic for them to eat and can cause skin reactions if they touch it. So very concerning and something I didn't know, and thankfully I don't have in my garden. I'd just like to thank everyone who's subscribed to date. Please do like the vlogs if you do like them, and also if you've got any comments, do put them down, or if you've got any questions or anything you'd like to see or for me to discuss, please do put it down in the comments because I'm always looking for stuff so that we can look at together. I also have a Facebook page under the same name, the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, where I post what I'm up to on a daily basis, what I'm up to, what the cats are up to, and generally just what's going on in life for me. So we'll leave it there now. I might go out and see what's going on around the garden. There is a bit of a cold southerly, so I probably won't do much. I might just hang out here at the greenhouse actually. Lou's running around the garden and Beau has curled up on his favourite chair in the bedroom, so both of them are occupied at the moment. But from me, until next week's vlog, bye.